Charlotte Soccer Show. John Hayes, Danny Brams, and I've got good news for the listeners. It's a Steincast. We're here at Triple C Brewing, of course, on the corner of Fairwood Avenue and Griffith. And the reason we've got Steins today is because it's almost October. It's a great beer, and we're drowning our sorrows on the Charlotte Soccer Show. And cheers to that. So we're gonna drink some of our Stein here. We're gonna take a break later here in the show to get another Stein. But for now, we're gonna have these beers. We're gonna enjoy these voodoo fries. And Danny Brams, I've got one thing on my mind right now because, there's been so much conversation.
Conversation hasn't stopped.
There's been so much opinion making. All I want to know is how you feel on this Sunday about the last week in the world of Charlotte FC.
Man, I don't know, man. We need one more. Sorry, before I go. Third time's a charm. Actually, right now, this moment, the answer to your questions, I feel great because I'm drinking a Stein with you. We're drinking Oktoberfest here at Triple C.
Yes.
You know how it is. It's funny how, as the season has kind of slowly dwindled away, you sort of like retreat to safety. And as much as we do feel like EPR is a home base, like there's just something about Triple C. It's a little bit closer to our houses, and it's easier to get to, and sometimes we just have to come here.
It's like a nice hug when you need it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a warm embrace. There's always good music. We're out here on the patio in our usual spot. They're playing Arctic Monkeys on the overhead. Shout out where have you gone, Scott Arfield? To go Simon and Garfunkel. Man, I don't know. So right now, in this moment, you ask me, I feel pretty good. But it was a long night. It was a long, dark night of the soul, I think, to get...
long, dark Saturday night.
I forget if that's a Kierkegaard reference or maybe a Sir Thomas More. I forget who wrote that one about the long, dark night of the soul. I think maybe Thomas More, but it was a long, dark night of the soul for me after that loss. Setting the stage, full transparency. We had plans to do watch party. We had plans to sort of like do Independence game, roll it into a watch party, and that was the whole plan all week. And then the day wore on. I was a little late to get moving out of the house, and it was just sort of like my subconscious was driving the decisions more than my consciousness. So like I never made it to Memorial. Like I was drinking a Devil's Logic with you. Yeah, we were drinking a Devil's Logic, and we're on our way like 5 minutes before kickoff, walking over to the stadium, and it's like, let's just go to EPR and start that party early. So we did that, but then got invaded by LSU football fans. They tipped us off that they were going to be playing LSU football audio in the building, which I can't blame them. That's fine, whatever. I get it. You got to serve. If they have a big ass alumni association party, you got to serve that. But I think they played Charlotte FC audio on the outdoor patio. I just didn't want to be there with all the drumming in my ear. I was just dreading the whole thing. The whole point is that it was just vibes were bad, man. And vibes were horrible. So, and that's on me. That's fine. I'm not.
It's not on you.
No, it mostly is. I mean, I'll take the blame for it. I'm not going to start blaming other people for my problems here. But what I will say is, I just felt my confidence just seeping away. Like the confidence that I woke up with and that I normally wake up with on a match day, as I went throughout the course of my day, just slowly seeped out of my body to the point where I got to kickoff and I was just like kind of catatonic state, just like, all right, whatever's going to happen will happen. Like just, try not to make it too painful. And I don't know. So I wasn't necessarily like all up in arms after the loss, but I think I did feel a certain sense of anger that a lot of fellow fans felt. That you mentioned the conversation sort of has not stopping, since the end of the game. It's because it was sort of the bottom dropping out. It was the confirmation that we actually weren't really that good all along when we were getting those draws. It's like, you're getting these draws and you're getting your point towards your goal, like Jalen Lindsay told us, and I agree with all that, but it's like you're worrying in the back of your mind your whole time. You're like, man, is a draw enough? Are we really good enough? Like, we beat LAFC, but man, we can't put away DC United and stuff like that. So we can't even score against DC United. So
if I can interrupt you,
please do.
Please. What I'll say is, and I'm comfortable saying this because in the moment I felt this way, is that I felt like when Jalen Lindsay told us that a draw is just moving forward to the goal, in the moment, I probably should have pushed back because my honest reaction to that was like, hey man, like, draws aren't good enough right now.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like they might have been good enough to this point, but from here forward, it can't be a draw. It has to be 3 points.
Yeah, and I would hope that he knows that.
Yes.
I would hope that he was just giving us sort of the media training answer, as much as he was like a forthright guy.
I'm not trying to be critical.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I just disagree with
right,
you.
You're criticizing us for not pushing back. Maybe we threw too many softballs at these guys so we won't lose access. As we have been hopefully jokingly accused of in the past. But I don't know. Maybe we are too close though. Maybe we are too close as like fans and supporters and podcasters and. Like to think of ourselves as people who are in communication with like the soccer movers and shakers in the city. Like maybe maybe I feel like it flew a little too close to the sun. We were getting the chance to go down and meet people from the club and all that kind of stuff. And who knows? Maybe we haven't been critical enough. Maybe we're blinded by optimism. I would say that there's no bad faith involved.
No,
all we want is what's good for this club, and we've enjoyed being able to like shed light on what's going on inside the building when we can. Even so. Maybe that made me feel even more fatalistic and deterministic last night before kicking, because I just knew that like despite all the best intentions and knowing in my heart and soul that like everyone there is aligned towards the goal, I just don't feel like we really have enough firepower, to be perfectly honest. It's just it's the proof.
Follow us on Twitter @ForTheCrownBaby. You can join the conversation there when we're not doing our podcast. You can follow Danny @Danny Brams. You can follow me @John Hayes on air. And it's not something, Danny, that you should be ashamed about. And the reason why, and by ashamed, I'm talking about bad vibes. I'm talking about the feeling that something good is not going to happen.
That sinking feeling.
Well,
it's not comfortable for me. It's
totally.
not my default state.
Exactly.
Right.
And all that I'll say is, what I said this morning.
I work hard to self-medicate myself 24/7, so to avoid that feeling as much as possible here, Johnny.
I'll say what I said this morning. I said, Charlotte FC would be smart to part ways with Christian Lattanzio today.
Wow.
And by today, I'm talking about Sunday, September 24th.
Doesn't appear that it's happened, but yes, I liked the tweet.
An interim to see out the season would allow the coaching search to get started right away. It can also provide a bump to the players to finish out the season strong. It's tough that it's come to this. And I feel very strongly that this right now is the right move for Charlotte FC. And I've heard some pushback saying, well, we're still in the playoff hunt.
Right.
We still have an opportunity.
Right.
And to that I say, exactly.
Right, exactly. And what we have is not working, so let's try one last Hail Mary. Someone who put Brandon Cambridge in the game, the hero of Chicago, someone who played Patrick Odgemong from the start,
Yes.
Why not? Yeah, exactly.
Like anything but this.
Instead of being married to crazy ideas of playing guys out of position and square pegs and round holes and all that, and I don't know, I hope that... I hope there's an explanation that's outside of my understanding for what's going on with Scott Arfield, because it's absolutely pathetic. Like, for him to come in, score 3 goals, I think, right? For already, he's got 3 goals for the club.
Nakatsa. The game, what we thought was the game winner at Nashville.
Yep.
And then there was a 3rd goal as well.
There's the one and then he also had the moment where he scored, but they ruled Carroll offside, remember? And then they gave Messi that same goal the next day. All that. So this is a guy who's come in and been like an instant impact player for us.
Yeah.
He was like such a great free signing pickup. As they cue up another Arctic Monkey song for us here at Triple C, when I go into my Arfield diatribe, who would have thought?
It's the universe speaking to you.
Yeah. I bet you that you look good on the dance floor, right? But you didn't get to dance, and we're looking for romance. I don't know what we're looking for, but come on.
I think I said this to you Saturday.
Where is Scott Arfield, bro?
And I said this to you Saturday, and my point was very, very simple. I said this to you while we were at Devil's Logic. I said, here's my issue with Christian Lattanzio. He's not playing the best players on the team.
Just that.
Like, I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
Like he's just not.
Yeah, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln. But yeah, that's a really good take. Yeah.
Like, he's just not playing the best players.
You can disagree with me on this, but when you give your take that CL should have just been let go today and make it happen and let's see what happens. To me, that's the Philly in you coming out. That's just like your veteran Philly sports fandom. That's just like, we're all transplants here in Charlotte, most of us. So it's like, you've seen it all before. You grew up in this atmosphere of a results-oriented business, whether it's soccer, football, hoops, baseball, hockey.
Everything.
Like, it doesn't matter, and also, we're both Premier League fans, and even though I've been following MLS a little bit longer than you have, I think we both have been following long enough to know that even in MLS, it's generally a results-based league, and only in a few situations, like Austin, strangely, has never fired their coach despite their struggles here. But other teams sacked the manager right away. It's like there's still a chance here to do something.
Danny, just remind yourself of this. We're not Real Madrid.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We're not Bayern Munich.
We're not Bayern Munich.
Oh, my God.
We're not even
St. Louis, Dog Food City, County, SCFC, Rovers United.
So what are we?
I can't make fun. So I started the season, and my whole bit was dog St. Louis for being these losers of other expansion team who came after us and didn't have DPs and stuff like that. And their sporting director made the designated team comment. I can't say anything. Not only is St. Louis kicking our ass as far as every operation being an expansion team, they are an incredibly fun team to watch, and it's super dynamic soccer.
Yeah.
Whenever I see them play, it's just
I mean, it's hard. I mean, and I want to just give a special shout out to the Tifos,
of course,
who are listening to this podcast, who are checking in on whether it's a Sunday evening or a Monday morning or any time this week here in the QC. We're with you. We feel how you're feeling right now, and we're not trying to be overly reactive.
It's tough that it's come to this.
Yeah. That's the point. That's exactly right. It's tough. It's you just got to kind of say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You got to say hey, and the reason why I was comfortable in saying that today is the day where Christian Lattanzio should have been let go is because you went into the week with 2 home matches and 1 difficult road match, and 2 points out of 9 was just not enough.
Right.
You get
when you needed 7 minimum.
Yeah.
And you got 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just hey.
Yeah.
You know what I would prefer?
I would say 6 minimum. You need 6 minimum.
6.
Yeah.
I'm fine with 6.
6 minimum would have been fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm even.
It's the whole.
I might even be good with 4 for God's sake.
Here's the take that that irks me, that just kind of gets under my skin a little bit, and nothing personal about anyone who's put this take out there, but the whole it was never going to beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati was always a loss on the schedule, when we looked ahead 5 weeks ago. Well, it doesn't matter what we looked ahead 5 weeks ago or whatever, when we didn't get the wins against DC, we didn't get the win against Orlando, we didn't get the win against Nashville at home, we didn't get the win against Philadelphia when we were up 2-0 an hour with 30 minutes to play. So you got to take the Cincinnati game from right before where the standings were right before kickoff and look at that, and it's whether we were quote unquote supposed to win or not, it's just kind of irrelevant. We got our ass kicked. We were never in it. Lucho, did you see the third goal? Lucho Acosta literally dribbled the entire offensive half of the field. He got the ball at midfield, dribbled past Jones, past Privet, past Milanda, just one-on-one to each of them. It was final boss, nonsense, and then he had a wide open shot in the box and just put it in the upper 90. It was insane. I just watched this play happen. He went 1v1 against 3 of our best defenders and just made them all look like clowns, and then scored with ease for the guillotine goal on Kalina, 3 allowed, and I'm just bro. Come on.
Right.
But where's our player like that? We have unlimited funds. We have the 2nd richest owner in the fucking league.
Yeah.
Why? And here's the take that I do agree with. So here's what has come. Here's the bit of post game narrative that I agree with.
Okay.
Our DPs suck. Our DPs suck. We're 0 for 3 on DPs.
I think 2 of 3 suck.
No, as much as I love Swiderski, he doesn't get it done. He's not if he's our number, he's great if he was our 3rd DP. He would be awesome if he was our 3rd DP. But we have nobody that's Lucho Acosta, no Reynoso, no Gald, no Carlos Heel, no Hani Mukhtar. All these other contending teams have that guy, Thiago Amada. You know what I'm saying? Facundo Torres on Orlando. Every team, you give me a team, I'll tell you the guy. And if I tell you the guy is Karol Swiderski for Charlotte FC, as much as I love him as a huge fan, if I'm a neutral third-party observer, I'm
Yeah, that's fair. That is 100% fair, and that's real. And I think Cal Swiderski could have been that guy, but he's been asked to play a different position.
Right. He's been mismanaged, and his American adventure is in its twilight, and he will not look back with any fondness.
So I want to know, and this is where I'm at, right? I want to know if Christian Fuchs can manage this squad. I want to know.
Here's why not. Here's why I 100% don't want this to happen.
Okay, sure.
Because I found out recently that amongst the assistant staff, his focus is on the attackers. We can't score a fucking goal, so I'm out on Fuchs.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I want to find out if anybody else can manage this squad.
Yeah, I heard people throwing Jesse Marsh's name out there around.
Right.
You know, that's like the names are being thrown out.
No, because we're not going to hire any manager before the end of the season.
Right? Who could be you're saying interim?
Someone to get something different out of this squad in the final 6 games, and it doesn't even have to mean results. Play style, idea, energy, anything besides what we have now.
There's got to be somebody. I don't know who it would be, but hopefully not the
Jorge Herrera. For all I care.
Yeah. Get hip Jorge in there. I like it. Yeah, he's coaching the academy. You might learn a little more about that in a future conversation on this show. But spoiler alert. I don't know anybody. Yeah, like
that's the point.
The point is the point for me is that Lattanzio has failed, and it's I wish this man no ill personally. Totally. But what I think makes it kind of like a little less emotional for me on this level is that he's never ever worked to connect with the fan base. Lattanzio loves his players. Okay, let me put the ranking real quick, and then I'll give you the mic because I've been blabbering.
No, but I have a question. So if you're going to give me the mic, I'm just going to ask you a question.
Here's from an outside perspective, not trying to put thoughts in people's head, but from what I can garner, what I can infer. You know, you learn that unit in elementary school, inferences. You know, here's what I can infer. He loves the game. He loves the system. He loves his players. He tolerates the fans. That's how I see it. He's not here for the fans. He's here for this platonic ideal of what a soccer system can be because he loves this game. He's been close to this game his whole life. He's a 55-plus-year-old man. I don't remember his exact age, but like, think about it. That's 10-plus years older than me, and I'm an old fuck. So like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're a young spring chicken in my mind, for what it's worth.
But the fans have never been part of the game to him. Right. And again, I'm not trying to put thoughts in people's head. If he was sitting across this table and told me different, I would take his word for it. But his actions have shown that that's what it seems to be in his head.
Right, and there's this whole idea about calling for a manager's head and being crazy.
It's not that.
It's not that. I kind of want to be clear about that on this podcast. It's like, is that you can go back and you can listen to many episodes.
I'm not going to show up at a sign with a big Lattanzio out placard at a game, and it's not that. It's just, but I just know in my heart that it's done. It's over.
Right.
He's failed.
Charlotte Soccer Show, John Hayes, Danny Brams.
What was the question? What was your question?
We're here at Triple C, and we're doing a Steincast, and we're having great conversation. We're having great fries.
Wind me up and let me go, man. I can't stop.
We're having great fries as well. And it feels so good to be out here. It does. And the question that I want to ask you specifically is, why doesn't Patrick Agyemang play? Like, do you think that Patrick Agyemang is better than Enzo Copetti?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. I thought I had to think about it for a second, but I do. I think Copetti has experience, and I think Copetti has 5 times the experience and half the talent of Patrick Agyemang. That's what I think.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah.
Where is the disconnect, is what I want to ask you. Why and where is the disconnect? I just don't understand. The idea of not being able to play your best players in the most important time of the season.
Right.
What is happening?
Especially when they have that concept
Is it Zoran Crenetta? Is Zoran pulling the strings? Is Lattanzio a yes man?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's Lattanzio. I think if Zoran could choose, he would put Patrick in. I honestly think that. I think Zoran, to his credit, he lets Lattanzio manage the squad. And I don't like the way Lattanzio does it, but I don't believe Zoran or Joe or Dave or anybody is interfering with. I believe they give Christian Lattanzio full autonomy over the squad. I have to believe that, just from everything I've seen. Maybe you disagree.
No, it's not that I disagree. I don't know.
We don't really know. We don't really know. But to me, what I infer all this from the way they talk. Zorn has said that that's how he operates. He says Chris has full autonomy. The way Chris, I love that Zorn calls him Chris. By the way, I always think that's so funny. It's just funny to me. I mean, lost in translation moment for sure. But Christian Lattanzio, I think the way he talks about his decision making, it seems clear to me that there's no buttons being pushed or strings being pulled. Like, you can tell when a manager is like, well, they're telling me this, but whenever he talks, he's fully confident in all his decisions, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
You watched the 5-minute press conference after Saturday night's match?
Yeah, he spoke for 5 minutes last night.
What did he say?
He said, again, the opposition, we tried to play the system, but it... we had the possession. We just couldn't get the shots. We couldn't get the end product. Westwood said the same thing. Westwood did like a 4-minute press conference. Lattanzio did a 5-minute. It's on the Charlotte FC YouTube if you want to go check it out.
We need to get on these Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we
I don't know. Calls? Yeah, I mean, when the team is, I don't know. I would love to be on. I would love to be on the Zoom calls. Well, maybe that's a year 3 initiative. Yeah. Who knows? We have to see what the whole work set up for that.
We'll do a breathalyzer if we have to.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at for sure. I know the team wants people to cover him. Speaking of, I mean, not to blow up a spot, but he said it in public, so I mean, I can say this. I think Sam Spencer, Soccer Sheet, great guy who covers the team.
Did you join the Spaces last night?
I did, and I got to jump in and talk to him.
I'm going to listen to that on the way home.
And what he said in the Spaces, again, I hate to blow you up, Sam, but he said, I'm skipping the press conference tonight. I wanted to come talk to the fans, and that's the press conferences don't mean anything after a loss like that. What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say is the thing.
Well, it doesn't matter what he says, but it's the questions that matter.
I think. Well, that's true too, and the questions were all professional but not insightful. Let's just say that. I'm not gonna shoot. I'm not gonna.
My question on Saturday night after the match would be: do you feel like your job is in limbo?
No one asked that. No one was near that. It was nice. Someone asked about Yere. Yere's carrying a knock from the last match and wasn't available. So there's some info there, but it's all about we're doing good. We're playing the system. We're just not generating the end product. And Westwood said the same thing. Westwood talked about dominating possession. That's obviously going to be big. That's a big aspect of a Premier League player's mindset, I think. And we do that. I don't think we had any really good possession. And I haven't looked at the stats. You can maybe call up SofaScore. I question that we dominated possession last night against Cincinnati. I didn't really see us dominating possession. What I saw was Cincy kind of not necessarily park the bus, but really just kind of build a little shell. They built a little like defensive core, yes. And they knew send as many fucking crosses as you want. None of them are going anywhere, and we'll just counter, and we'll just counter off your dumb crosses, and that's what happened all night.
The drama surrounding Cincinnati's first goal of the match
is irrelevant.
When Christian Kalina came out running to the referee,
I was embarrassed. Yeah, sorry. It's like we're finishing each other's
sentences. I was totally embarrassed by that. I was just like, hey man, that's a great free kick.
Yeah.
It's like,
what the hell are you doing, bro? Yeah. He was embarrassed. That's why he did that, because he was like the whole thing was set up for a right-footed kicker, and then they had the lefty go before anyone realized what was happening, oh, by the way, he hit a perfect free kick. I will give Lattanzio credit for that. They asked him, what's up with did you see the tweets that there was an attacker in the wall and, maybe it was illegal and should have been blown dead? And he was like, the guy hit upper 90 on a free kick. I'm not going to say anything about the fucking attack in the wall. So credit to Lattanzio for at least not being a little bitch about that. So, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Charlotte Soccer Show. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look at the schedule, take a look at the final fixtures, and have a real conversation about what this club can accomplish in the remaining games of the year. But the first thing that we're going to do before we do that is head into the bar here at Triple C and refill these Steins and try to get some clarity.
It's a Steincast, baby.
Back after this. We're back here on the patio of Triple C. We're hanging out here again on the corner of Fairwood and Griffith. We're seeing some dogs walk around. We're seeing some beautiful people walk around.
Fairwood and Griffith, baby.
It is a phenomenal Sunday evening on the Triple C patio. And after you've heard that first segment, if you're still with us, cheers to you for that.
We're on our second Steins.
Because what we're going to do, here on the show, as we drink our second Stein, is we're going to ask about hope, baby. We're going to ask ourselves, what's out there for this club?
Yeah.
Because the season's not over, and there's still games remaining. So I need to ask you, Danny, for my own sanity, what do I have to look forward to?
I thought I just did a rant about how the season is over. Shoot. Well, I know that you were told there would be no math when it came to being a soccer supporter, but that's pretty much all we got going for us right now is math. So, what can I say? There's currently 9th place is 37 points. NYC and Montreal tied for the 8-9 wild card game. That's only 4 points back from us, and we have 2 games in hand. So we win those 2 games in hand. We got 6. That's more than 4, right? Greater than or less than sign, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Nothing about... They taught us about inequalities when I was in elementary school math, and then I learned all about a whole different kind of inequality when I grew up and became a poor working stiff. But anyway, the most points we can get for Charlotte FC is 48 points.
48. And
we're sitting on 33. We have 5 matches
and
left.
that's if we win all 5 matches.
That's full points, yeah.
Who are we playing?
We're playing at New England, home versus Toronto, which should be... If we don't beat Toronto, we can pack it in for sure. But then we go to Chicago, a team we should be able to beat. Chicago's kind of like the Forrest Gump of this whole situation because they play everybody. Forrest Gump plays Red Bulls, Miami, Charlotte, and NYC for their last 4, who are the 4 teams. So they're like, interacting with everybody on this journey. We play them Miami twice. So we got 3 matches then against other teams, then 2 against Miami. If we win all those matches, we're sitting on 48. And 48, I think, gets us in for sure. But do you trust this team to win 5 matches
5
in a row?
We've won 2 matches in the last 6 months.
I know it's like a World Cup. I think Laddie Daddy said this is like a World Cup or at one point, right? In one of his asinine sayings. But
yeah, like what I can say is like I want to believe that all those matches are winnable.
Yeah, sure.
This team doesn't win matches.
Right. At New England is tough. If you think our turf is bad, New England has the worst turf in the league. We have a week off till we get there. But, I don't know, man.
That's why we need the new manager in. I'm done.
Right, because
you've got a week.
Right.
To get a plan.
So,
for
you're saying, you asked me how can I give you hope as to start this second segment. The way I would give hope is by doing what you said in the first segment, which is making the drastic change up top because you're going to have to anyway. The reason I support you in your sort of saying that today could have and should have been the day was because I think it's got to happen in the off season anyway. So you might as well have cut out and you want to shake players up. You want to tell a guy like Mackenzie Gaines that you have a shot to get back into this lineup or something like that. Guys who might have been sort of phased out. You want to tell Bill Tuiloma that maybe you can get back in and make an impact late in this season. Who knows? I don't really think that would happen with Bill. But what I'm saying is you want to shake things up to that level. That's what you have to do. Is you got to sack the gaffer. Unfortunately, and it's not personal, but I just think that is the drastic move that could help. Because again, you wonder what's this club going to do when it comes to the legacy playoff run and who are they going to? Is Cambridge going to be available to the first team, or are they going to hold him to make sure Legacy wins the inaugural title in their first MLS Next Pro season, stuff like that? Same with I think Patrick's Legacy days are done. Hopefully, I think your pressure campaign hopefully succeeded in that regard, Johnny. But there are some other guys who fit the first team Legacy sort of. They straddle that boundary, most notably Cambridge. I don't know. I'd like to see Cambridge get more minutes with the first team. I think I echo the thoughts of a lot of TIFOs, especially when I say whether you think we're mathematically out of it or not, or whether you agree that the season's over or we're still in it, or you're too negative.
Mathematically, we're still in it, and that's why I believe I'm asking for some.
So
votes.
What I'm saying is that's a spectrum, right? You can be on the spectrum of where I am, where I'm the math doesn't matter, You can be on the Matt Barbie end of the spectrum where we're like guaranteed, divinely ordained to win the next 5 matches and end up on 48 points. You know, that's and somewhere in there you fall on that spectrum. So, for me, it doesn't matter where you fall on that spectrum. It's still the move to start getting these young guys in the lineup because what we've been playing hasn't worked. So it's like we need a change. Whether we fire the manager or not, he needs to be if he doesn't get fired, then he needs to step up and say, what I've been doing hasn't worked. Playing Breck Diagra on the wing doesn't work. He's a center attacking mid. Playing Brant Bronico as an 8 doesn't work, even though, you know, I'm the one who says Bronny can cook in the final third. He doesn't do it enough. Scott Arfield is a guy we went out and signed, and Zoran went to go get and put him on this team to be part of the playoff push. And I don't know why Laddie's not playing him, but he should. Who else? I think Vargas never should have been given up on. As much as I love Miriam, and Miriam does bring a sense of like
legitimately on this show.
Miriam's not going to be a key contributor next year. As much as I love him,
this
right?
season on this show, Danny, I agree. Miriam is at the tail end of his career, as are many guys who are playing for Charlotte FC right now. And what I said about Vargas around the season is like, this guy could be the future of Charlotte FC.
Right.
Protect him at all
costs.
Protect
him at all, yeah, right. And we protected him at all costs by making sure that he wouldn't get hurt by benching his ass, I guess. He was getting kicked a lot when he was out there, so who knows. But
he didn't play.
He was pretty impactful through a certain stretch of the season, I feel like. You know, if we start to look back and we're like, I get that. But the problem is, you want to play Miriam. You can play Miriam. But you don't have to bench Vargas to play Miriam. The problem of the whole thing is putting Breck Diagra on the wing and pinning him up against the sideline. I thought Brecht was horrible against, and we were all pretty bad against Cincy, but I thought Brecht was legit horrible against Cincinnati.
And you thought he was even worse at home against Philadelphia.
Well, I mean that's so outlier in terms of like. Just like I wouldn't have expected that to happen in an intramural soccer match, like at a prison, like that kind of foul that he made. You know what I'm saying? Guards versus prisoners. I don't think that foul would have been committed. That's why I have no clue why the captain of a French cup-winning side would ever do it. But again, I wonder. Brecht has a lot to prove to me. As much as I again, and you talk about being too close and admitting the fact that I love these guys, but I have to criticize them when I'm on this microphone. I shook Brecht's hand at the Brawny Bro party and I said, Brecht, welcome to our club. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great impact. And he said, thank you. And he walked, he had a million hands to shake. We didn't have like some deep conversation, but like I can sit here and still, even having done that, I have to say, you've been exceptionally, you cost us the match against Philadelphia, the points against Philadelphia. And Brecht was horrible against Cincy to the point where I was like, why didn't Kerwin Vargas start this match? That's all.
Yes.
And again, I think he's being misused and miscast and misplayed. He's not been a winger for Toulouse.
Yeah. He's
like in the Belgian league, he wasn't a winger. He's a center creative mid, and the reason that he's in the center, as I've said on the previous episode, and I will just repeat again,
please do,
because he's the best dribbler on the fucking team,
he is, yes.
And he needs to be able to be omnidirectional, and he can't be pinned up against the fucking sideline.
That's right. That's exactly right. I think Breck Diagra is supposed to be playing where Karol Swiderski is playing. And Karol Swiderski, where he is playing, should be playing where Enzo Capetti is playing.
Right.
And Justin Miriam should be on the bench. And Ben Bender on the right wing should also be on the bench.
And Patrick Lagemont should be in anywhere, to be honest.
I thought the segment was about hope.
I know, but we can't live with it. We have to, like... Reality butted in. Reality butted into the hope segment.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Messi play in either game? At Miami or at Charlotte?
So at Miami, Messi 100% will be gone with Argentina. Well, not 100% because it hasn't been announced yet, but for all intents and purposes, it's an important match for Argentina. It's qualifiers down there in South America, so he will be playing in the international break. Karol Swiderski will also most likely be gone for us during that match because Poland has qualifiers for Euros.
And so if Miami's out of the playoffs, he's not coming up here to play on the.
So then we have to look at where is Miami. Miami plays. We're recording this right as Orlando and Miami are about to kick off, so that's going to temper my answer as far as whether Miami gets 3 points during the time that we tape this episode to the time people would listen to it. But so just knowing that, I would say that they don't have Messi against Orlando, and they're going to need these 3. They desperately need these 3 points against Orlando. They can't, as much as we can't afford to lose they can't afford to lose. So
yeah. Oh, dude. I mean that.
They're still behind us, technically. Technically, Miami.
But their points. If they win out, they have more points than us.
Yeah, they have two. They have a game in hand on
Yes.
us, 2 fewer points.
Yes.
So yeah, they would be.
Yes.
Miami and Montreal have the most available points left, or they can finish on the highest total, I should say.
So what do I do as a supporter of Charlotte FC, as somebody that knows that there's only 2 home matches left?
That's a great.
What do I do?
So it's decision time. Unfortunately, it's like
Yeah.
we didn't think it would come to this, but like this is where you have to sort of decide in or out. This is an in or out moment. Like this next month of the season is in or out. Like a lot of people are going to be making season ticket renewal decisions this next month. I'm obviously renewing. There's nothing you could do to stop me from.
Well,
renewing.
there's literally legally nothing I can do.
Right, you're under contract in the 300s. Yeah. Shout out to the club for keeping prices flat. I don't think we ever fully we tweeted about it. We didn't ever mention it on an episode, and I would say, I think Joe LeBou takes a lot of crap as far as from people that don't really know a lot. I see a lot of tweets tagging Joe LeBou, and I'm like, why do you got to tag him in this? Why are you tagging the club president in some asshole angry tweet? You know what I'm saying? Like you can think what you want to get him, but don't. This guy I don't know too many club presidents that are out there like trying to interact with fans on social media. The small degree that he does it, like he takes the time to like tweet game day tweets and stuff like that. I don't know too many club presidents that are out there doing it. I appreciate it. So visibility really matters. He was on our show. He's done what he can to sort of connect as a club president with the fan base more than most club presidents. And like, I don't know. I like the guy, so that's why I'm a fan. That's why I'm complimenting him.
Me too.
Like you can say I'm a shill or whatever. I don't care, but like that's how I honestly feel. So the point is, I don't even know what the point is, but I just know that like a lot of people are complaining.
Yeah.
And I forget where I was even going with this, but
no. My question to you was, what should I do as a supporter?
Oh, right. Okay. So yes, exactly. So season ticket renewals. The club's trying to connect. The club's trying to be visible out there with the administration and leadership. They're out working in the community. So, but the results haven't been there. The goals have not been met. Some would say the promises have not been kept. I don't necessarily agree that those were promises, but there are people out here who will say they were promised a playoff match within the first 2 years. I've seen it. I've seen the take on Reddit. I've seen the take on Discord. I've seen it all over the place.
Well, the one thing about promises that I can guarantee you, promises always get broken.
Yeah.
So
Pie crust promise, baby.
That,
easily made, easily broken.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a goal set than a promise, but regardless, it's been a failure, and that's why I endorse the message that you put out of getting rid of the manager as soon as possible. Nothing personal, CL. But so what you have to do is decide, like, what are you in this for? Are you in this for the party? Are you in this? I know some people that are in this for the party, and they're going to renew because they don't care. They don't like.
I love a party.
Yeah. Are you in this because you have to support a winner? The Panthers suck. The Hornets suck.
That's not much like the Panthers were winning.
Did you sign up? The Panthers suck, all right? Did you sign up for Charlotte FC fandom as a way to sort of like finally support a winner in Charlotte because the Panthers and Hornets have been so bad for so long, and you just like needed, and they haven't delivered, and so you're going to leave? Like, there's going to be, what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to will this into existence. I'm just being real. Like, there's a segment of our fan base that will fall off based on the failure to make the playoffs in the first 2 seasons. And so, like, the people that stay, it's going to be that much sweeter, I guess, is what I would say. It's like, there's so many different types of personality out there, and there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to get what I'm saying. They're just not going to be able to wrap their head around it. But for me, the hard times make the good times sweeter. And, like, the chance to go through some suffering like we've gone through, as much as I wish it would have been different, I will at least try to find the silver lining. I'll at least try to, like, understand what I can learn from everything. I'm jealous as hell. I actually have a bunch of friends that live in St. Louis, and I've been giving them hell for a year, and I can't give them hell anymore because they proved the point. They did it. We didn't do it, and that hurts.
You know what my
that fucking hurts. That fucking St. Louis, fucking Missouri did it, and Charlotte, North Carolina couldn't do it, and that hurts.
It does. And I hear you. You're answering my question because now you've got me thinking about what I can do as a supporter. What I can do as somebody that really, really, truly cares about this club. What I can latch on to, something that I can hold, really close to my heart. And I've got one thing, and one thing only. Patrick Hajimon.
Starboy.
I mean, this is our guy.
The future.
Like, we found him. He's ours.
Right. Shout out to Jose Tavares. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to the whole scouting team.
Unbelievable job by the scouting staff to get this kid into this program. He
Right.
is a total game changer.
Like,
on the pitch every moment he's out there.
there's a universe where he like goes absolutely nuts for the next year and a half and like is in the mix for U.S. Men's National 26. I mean, I don't think that's really going to happen, but like he's so special. You protect Patrick Agyemang at all costs. Like the combination of what I see in him, all his traits.
Yes.
In terms of the brain, the body, the attitude, he's just such a good guy with the fans.
The charts.
By the way, was there again, just like we showed with Jalen Lindsey. Agyemang was there 30, 45 minutes signing jerseys for fans after the Philadelphia disappointment. You know, like Karol Swiderski. Literally, as soon as the final whistle, Karol Swiderski walked off the pit, walked directly from the bench to the tunnel, never even looked at the supporter section once. And, you know, whatever, good on him. That
bothered you.
But Patrick Agyemang fucking came and was there 30, 45 minutes after the match before he even went to the, he didn't go to the tunnel and come back out. He stayed out the whole time and was signing jerseys.
Whether it's Christian Lattanzio, whether it's Zoran Krneta, whether it's Jose Tavares, I don't fucking care. Somebody needs to take responsibility for the fact that our best player doesn't play.
Yeah. Especially when he's the one to hold on to, like you just identified. Right, for hope.
I think it has a lot to do with the current MLS structure. Mm-hmm. I think it has to do with the fact that he's not a designated player, that are two of Charlotte FC's designated players. Enzo Cobetti and Karol Swiderski, both consider them strikers as well. I think there's a lot of ego involved,
right.
And I think there's a lot of tough decision-making involved. And this is where my most critical decision is. This is where I want to be most critical of the club. The decision-making is not for best player. The decision-making is for most money spent on player.
Right. Optics take precedence over results lately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you wipe the salaries out, any coach would put Patrick Agyemang ahead of Enzo Cobetti in a starting lineup. It's not even close. Let's just be real.
Yes.
Like, I don't care what you did at Racing Club in the Argentine League. By the way, you scored a bunch of goals in Argentina, and I'm sorry to the Argentinian fans that we have out there, the Tivos, but they play like 50 games in the Argentinian League, man. Of course, anybody's going to score a bunch of fucking goals down there. Give me a break. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying that. I don't, it's
I mean, and Enzo, I've never seen someone so. I mean, different episode. Sorry, I'm going to cut myself off. Different episode. But things to latch on to. Great presence in the community. This club has really done a good job of community service.
Yeah, they have a great job.
They have built soccer pitches all over the city. The social currency is real, as Joe likes to say. I'm wearing, I see people. I met someone. I go to this, one of my favorite local coffee shops is this drive-through spot called Burr and Berry on South Drive. Go there almost every day. The barista, she was like, "Oh, I had my 6 Point Saturday shirt on." She goes,
"Nice.
What does that mean?" It was. I love the idea of like being able to explain. What is a 6 Point Saturday? Oh, well, we have FC. We also have the Independents. Well, shout out to the Independents, by the way. 2-0 win. Last week on Saturday.
I never had a chance to say this, but my soccer soul was fucking broken on Saturday morning. Like, I didn't even, I knew that we were going to lose on Saturday night. I just knew that we were going to lose. And I told you as much during the week privately.
Yeah.
And
you tweeted as much. How you said, imagine what's going to happen when we get our ass kicked by Cincinnati after the Philly game.
Okay,
you were out there. Yeah, I'm not blowing up your spot.
I guess I did say that. Yeah. But when the Independents scored 2 goals, and we're up in the second half, how did they keep that lead? How did they keep that lead? That must be really tough. They kept a 2-0 lead. That must be really tough.
Must have been tough.
I mean, I don't know how Coach Jeffries pulled that off.
I mean, Coach Jeffries, where would we be with this same group of players in the standings with Coach Jeffries in top? Who knows? But I will say, it's all to bring it all full circle though. Yes. And shout out Corey Bennett for scoring a goal with your face. And shout out Omar Cease for somehow scoring a non-banger. I couldn't believe that, but it was slick. What you're latching on to, if you're a Charlotte FC season ticket holder, it's all part of the whole. It's all part of the whole. The independence feeds into Charlotte. See the soccer of the soccerness of the city, and the legacy are part of that too. Independence women are part of that. The new Super League coming out will start that. The fucking Pineville Hops semi-pro team down playing in fucking Pineville. Level Up Luke season ticket holder. I mean, like it's a soccer city, and like so what you latch onto is like we have skin in the game. We have a foot in the door of the highest level of soccer in the United States, and we're in the game, and things have not gone to plan, and it sucks. And I hate, Ten Commandments told you don't be covetous of your neighbor, but I don't give a fuck. Sorry, Moses. I'm like, on Yom Kippur, I will not even fucking atone for the fact that I'm jealous as hell of St. Louis. But you know what? The hard times make the good times sweeter, and nothing that comes easy feels as good as something that was earned through blood, sweat, and tears. And I've certainly sweat. I've certainly given tears. I have yet to give blood for this club that I can remember, but I'm certainly not opposed to it.
Charlotte Soccer Show. I'm John Hayes. He is Danny Brams. You can follow him on Twitter at Danny Brams. You can follow us on Twitter at For the Crown Baby. And there's a soft launch, just so you know, Danny. A new Instagram as soft launch.
Let's go. If you report our fucking Instagram, I will find you. I will Liam Neeson your ass and find you.
Charlotte Soccer City is the Instagram. Follow Charlotte Soccer City on Instagram. We're going to be doing content there. We're going to be hanging out for the remainder of the season, making sure that whatever happens here, whatever happens down the stretch, and down the stretch they come, and Charlotte FC is behind by 47 lengths. Whatever happens in the final stretch of the season, we will be here to talk about it. We know it's disappointing. We know that the fan base right now is feeling like they're not getting their money's worth. And the question becomes, can we get lucky?
Can we just get a little lucky, please? Fucking for Franz Ferdinand's sake. I'm with you, man. I love it. Five to go. 5 for fighting. I'm up for it. 2 home matches. One where maybe there'll be a little alien from Argentina there to make some magic happen. Still never selling my tickets. I hope Messi plays. If you bring a camera, I would love to get someone on camera offering me $1,000 and I can hand it right back to him. I think that'd be fantastic content. What can I say, man? We got 5 for fighting, 5 for 5. We're in for the fight. Let's win all 5.
Yeah. Why not? Why the fuck not?
Remember, I think it was Brawny. It was remember when we were talking to Brawny, and I think it was when we were talking to Arfield.
Brawny said win them all.
Yeah, Brawny said this last year. We talked to Brawny off mic at the first inaugural Brawny party, and he was like, we were like, yeah, we hope to win a certain number of such upcoming matches. No, we're going to win them all. Same message from Arfield this year. No, we're going to win them all. So the players think they can win them all. The fans, I don't know. I don't know what I think anymore. But beat New England, anything's possible.
Charlotte Soccer Show, John Hayes, Danny Brams, and do us a favor, leave us a rating. If you're here right now, hit those 5 stars, leave us a review. It means a lot when you leave a review for the show. And
I don't want to like be too much of a pro. Like if you're not a drinker, that's fine. If you can't drink, I totally get it. It's 100% no big deal. But we like to feature the drinking aspect of the show. So what I'm going to say, for those of you who do like the part where we talk about the beers and everything on the show,
fuck yeah.
It's October coming up. Go have a Stein.
Fuck yeah. This Steincast it's been incredible.
Yeah.
And cheers to that. And like always, and like forever,
for the crown, baby.